In the following video, the concepts of VDC, Virtual Design and Construction, as well as the BIM, Building Information Modeling, and its application will be presented. The VDC model is the management method of integrated multidisciplinary performance for the design and construction projects. Typically, a BIM model will involve a POP model, which is the product, organization, and the process. VDC model provides a computer-based description of the process, and all the model can access shared data, which allow easier management and higher flexibility of the project. Product usually refer to the building elements and the infrastructure. An organization usually give the requirements of a project and responsible for designing, constructing, and operating the final product. Process refer to all the procedures that have to be carried out to fulfill the functional objective of the project. Advantages of using VDC involves crash detection of a project to reduce risks and help to resolve the problem at design stage to save costs, help to create a collaborative environment for all the stakeholders.
We are a team of VDC and BIM consultants. Our client is the Department of Real Estate and Construction Management in Hong Kong U, who appointed us for a project of development of an iRoom on the 5th floor of Lowe's building. The iRoom is a conference room with electronic enhancements to facilitate the teaching and training of multidisciplinary VDC or BIM for students. The existing room 531 of Lowe's building can barely achieve the objective of interaction and information sharing, as the table is rectangular shaped and students are sitting around the table. The students sitting at the back cannot hear what the lecturer said easily. Besides, students cannot discuss easily as they can only talk to the classmate sitting next to him or her. This could seriously affect the learning process. The space of the room is also greatly diminished due to the large size rectangular tables. We will move on to the functional requirements of the proposed iRoom. First, the iRoom has to be capable of accommodating up to 30 people and should be flexible in changing the settings for different purposes. Second, to construct a user-friendly iRoom with high technologies. Third, to ensure good innovative design for the occupants to work. Here comes to the design concept of our project. The design concept of the iRoom comes from our own experience in using the KB531. As the room is in rectangular shape, it is relatively more difficult for students to discuss with each other and listen to the lecturer. Therefore, we propose to divide the room into two smaller rooms by removable partition wall so that it can provide a great flexibility which can definitely meet our own functional requirement. From the floor plan, we can see that there will be a removable partition wall in between the rooms so that some tutorial or discussion for about 50 people can be carried out in each room. Therefore, the original two doors of the room will be demolished, and 4 new doors will be installed to meet the new requirement. Also, there will be 4 smart boards installed, 2 on the one side of the wall and the other 2 on the opposite sides, so that adequate smart boards can be ensured. Next, we can visualize the floor plan in this diagram. Here you can see the various elements in our iRoom, and we will come to talk about it later. In this stage, several snapshots of our iRoom will be shown in order to fully visualize the proposed model of our iRoom. The snapshot in the top left corner shows the middle part of the iRoom, and you can see the removable partition wall clearly, and separating the room into 2 parts. On the other hand, the snapshot in the top right corner illustrates how the smart board looks like, and the snapshot in the bottom shows the overall review of the iRoom from the perspective of the lecturer. It then comes to the stage showing the different key elements in the proposed iRoom. The aforementioned smart boards we definitely meet the functional requirement of constructing a user-friendly iRoom with high technologies, while the removable partition wall and the movable furniture and fittings can certainly fulfill the need of providing flexibility in changing the settings of the iRoom for different purposes. Besides, the carpet floor and the suspended ceiling can act as a sound insulator in preventing noise coming outside or transmitting from the room. All these elements will therefore combine to make an innovative design of the proposed iRoom. Afterwards, we will come to this organization chart. The model will show the different stakeholders and outline who is responsible for what. Also, the relationship between the different stakeholders will be shown. For example, the architect is responsible for design and approves the iRoom, and the purchasing manager is responsible for the purchase elements and furniture, and both of them are employed under the owner. The quantity surveyor who will estimate and control the cost in the project will also be directly employed under the owner. The main contractor, specialist contractor, and the E&M contractor will then be employed under the architect, and each of them will have a specific responsibility regarding the construction of the iRoom. The installation of different parts of the room will thus be carried out by different parties, and the specialized job can thus be carried out by specialists. Basically, the project aims at design and construct a user-friendly iRoom with high technology, which can facilitate the discussion and teaching process in the Crib Room on 5th floor, lowest building. To fulfill the above objectives, 4 smart boards will be installed at 2 different ends of the room, and there are 20-floor computers, allow interaction via the IT communication. Direct connection of computers by common Wi-Fi network enable easier share of information, and the multi-touch screen of smartboards can enable multi-user operation. Due to the limited space in Hong Kong U, the room should be capable of accommodating up to 30 people, and it should have flexibility in changing the setting in order to suit different purposes of users. Foldable partition wall will be set in the middle of the room for subdividing the room into 2 small discussion rooms. Movable table and chair with rolling can help increase the flexibility in the setting of the room. The third objective will be to creating an iRoom with good innovative design. The related products, organization, and process are shown. This is the Gantt chart for the project, which is an annotated process model. As referred to the model, the preliminary investigation and the design stage will last from mid-March to late April 2030. As for the tendering stage and purchasing stage, it will last from the late April to early July 2030. The construction stage will commence in early July, and it is expected to be completed by the end of August 2030. The building works will be carried out in summer, as there will be low school days, so that minimum disturbance is made to study purpose. The iRoom will be ready to use on 30 August 2030, so that the undergraduates can use the iRoom when next academic year starts. After that, the defect liability period will last for a year.
We will now show you the 4D animation of the iRoom construction sequence. After demolition works and setting out of the room, 2 new doors will be installed. The installation of new doors is required so as to ensure students and teachers to go in and out the room conveniently when the room is being divided into 2 compartments. Afterwards, MVAC system and the electrical system will be installed. This will take around 6 days. Electrical sockets will be provided up on the wall as well as on the floor. This can allow future usage of electrical appliances such as smartboards, computer controls, speakers, as well as laptops. Then, air conditioner and air diffusers will be provided up on the ceiling. This can ensure sufficient ventilation. Next, suspended ceiling will be constructed. This will take around 3 days. The suspended ceiling is needed so as to reduce visual intrusion and to give the room a clean and neat look. Continuing with the 4D animation, ceiling lights will be provided to ensure sufficient lighting for teaching and learning purposes. Then, the carpeted floor will be installed. This will take around 2 days. And next, the removable partition wall, which takes around 3 days. The placing of fixtures and fittings take place, which takes around 2 days. 2 fixed smartboards and 2 movable smartboards will be provided, as well as speakers, movable desks, and chairs. The installation of movable items can maximize flexibility so as to maximize learning outcome. Lastly, computer controls as well as laptops will be provided. Inspection and defect rectification will take place. This will take around 5 days. And now, the iRoom is ready to use.
And now, we will identify some of the problems or risks that the stakeholders may encounter during the pre-construction stage and also the construction stage, and moreover, how can the model help them. First of all, architect has to evaluate the efficiency of the partition wall in order to achieve the objective of increasing visibility, and thus the model can provide architect with the most genuine view of the finished product. In addition, specialist contractors are familiar with the construction sequence before the start of the construction using the model. Also, the purchasing officer can take the furniture and fittings shown in the BIM model for reference when purchasing the real one. But what doesn't provide in the model is that purchasing officer has to spend time in searching and negotiating with the manufacturer to get lower cost of furniture and fittings. Quality control is still lie in the hands of them also. Finally, let us summarize what we've got. In this project, we will spend about $3.5 million renovating room 351 into an iRoom with high technology. Facilitating by the using POP model, 3D BIM and 4D animation, we expected the project to be finished within 1.5 years. That's the end of presentation. Thank you.
I'm Brian, and I think this scenarios is probably the most challenging or the most difficult one so far in this studio project, as we have to do a lot that we didn't know how to do in before, like doing the 3D and the 4D model, or the POP model, as well as producing a video clip. As a surveying student, I think it is definitely a very, very, very challenging task, as we have to use a lot of softwares or a lot of like the POP models to produce an iRoom that for the real situation. But I think it is a very good way for us to learn something that we don't know, or for us to learn something that we'll use in the future, because I understand that it will probably be the same situation when I'm a professional in the future, and we need to consider many things, like in this project, like the different construction sequence and the different elements in the iRoom. It made me to realize that in a small construction project like this one, there will be many different kind of conflict or different kind of difficulties encountered during the project. It made me to realize that being a professional will lead to have a very, very, very flexible mindset to consider the whole sequence of the project, and we cannot omit any small details of the project. And I think this scenario has taught me a lot in this aspect, and also it really made our group to be more like a team, and I think our friendship has among our groupmates has really strengthened a lot in this scenario, as we have to work from down to left, and we have to talk about the scenario and also the project from time to time. And I think it is a very, very important thing that I've learned in this studio.
Hello, I'm Han. In this scenario, I have realized the advantages of using the VDC model in a construction project. It's greatly reduced the risks of the builder by avoiding the time crash and the inconsistency between different elements or different parties. And in fact, in this project, it allows us to learn different software and skills in making those models, for example the VDC, BIM, and the 4D model, POP models, etc. And during the process, I have learned I can have a more comprehensive understanding towards the decision-making process of a construction project. This experience is useful for me in tackling different difficulties in the future. However, due to the limited time of carrying out this project, and working on the model is quite frustrating and demanding for us, that we are still having heavy workloads on the other subjects, and this may be too challenging for us to explore many new things in such a short period of time. I'm responsible for dealing with the POP model, and at first I don't know what to do and feel confused about the use of the model. And after studying on the principle of the POP model by searching on the internet and having discussion with the classmates, I finally finished my task and learned about things that I have mentioned. And I would like to thank Professor Carl, who gave so many advice and support to us, and also my studio groupmates to finish the difficult task. And we feel like we learned many things, and we have a very good teamwork within this scenario. Thank you.
After the studio project, I'm pleased with the learning I've gained throughout this experience. Specifically in terms of the production of the 4D animation, I found that my groupmates really did drive me into wanting to make this whole thing look good. Therefore, I've spent lots of time in doing the 3D model as well as the 4D animation, because frankly speaking, I'm not a tacky person at all, so it was hard work for me, but I've increased my knowledge of using these softwares, so it's a good thing to me. Another area is that This whole idea of virtual design and construction actually fascinates me in terms of making sure that everyone who is involved in this project get this amount of mutual knowledge and knowing the sequence and organization of the construction work. It's sort of like getting to know more about the working world. And one highlight within this project is that I have come to realizing that being organized and having good teamwork is so important when it comes to doing a quite difficult task, because some people are good at something while some others not. So it's a good thing that we get to help each other along the way. All in all, I'm happy that this is all done now. I have learned a great deal. The studio is challenging yet very exciting, and I'm grateful to have my really cool group mates. So thank you so much.
In this scenario, we are asked to accomplish a task that has never been accounted by us. That is, to submit a POP model also using the BIM modeling. I thought this could be a golden opportunity for me to improve my computer skills. Thus, at the beginning of this project, I chose to do the BIM 3D model using this Google Sketch, as I am interested in design but I've never made one by myself. In addition to that, I have some experience using the software that's in the past, and I thought I could further improve my skills. What intriguing me is to decide which element we should put into the model. As using the Google Sketch, there is a bunch of completed elements model available in the internet. But which one suits our model best is a challenging question. At first, I was quite confused by the POP model, as I was not familiar with that system. When I created with the help of my groupmates, I was able to gain more understanding towards it in the last. At the later stage of the project, I am responsible to combine all parts of work with the software Pepsi and produce a video with it. I am satisfied with what we accomplished in this 4 weeks' time, and we are feeling a strong sense of teamwork. Had it not been for our smooth coordination, the project wouldn't have been completed in time. Moreover, I think it gives me bravery when using new tools to complete tasks in the later time.
I'm Nelson. After this studio scenario, I noticed that VDC BIM models are the management of multidisciplinary models of design construction projects, including product organization and process of a project. My other 4 groupmates' support throughout the whole studio scenario really surprised me a lot. In fact, without their assistance, I could never accomplish my tasks. After this scenario, we have developed a memorable friendship. As reflect negatively, I really got a bit frustrated for this scenario as the reference materials for the VDC BIM are too few compared to other studio scenarios. I can hardly do research on the related topics at first. However, with the support of my teammates, I tried my best to finish the work, and I'm delighted to see our final products. In this scenario, I was mainly responsible for the process model of the project. This is a Gantt chart that shows the design and construction schedule of the iron project. Besides, I did an annotated process model for the project that identifies all the tasks and responsible parties. Moreover, I also did the recommendations on the project definition to the Iron Review Committee, such as identifying the links and relevant stakeholders. Finally, I am very joyful to work with my fellow groupmates, and we did learn a lot. I have noticed that we can never reach success without support and pressure. Even when I'm so ill right now, I feel that this studio project has given me strength. Thank you, Dr. Julia Gao and my teammates.